All right, welcome back to Daily Math Concepts. Today what we're looking at is how do we do long divisions with polynomials. All right, so we want to look at the fact that the principle behind long division remains the same. One, there's a four-step process. We will divide. Number two, we will multiply. Number three, we will subtract. And number four, we will drop down or bring down. So these are the same processes that we'll do when we're dealing with numbers. We will approach it the same way in handling our polynomial division. As you can see, we're going to divide 2x to the fourth plus 3x to the third minus 4x squared plus x minus 6. We're going to divide that by x plus 2. Bear in mind that when we do this division, we're only going to be dividing the x into the polynomial. We're not going to be dividing the plus 2. All right? So the divisor will come here, x plus 2, and the dividend is 2x to the fourth plus 3x to the third minus 4x squared plus x minus 6. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to be using the x to divide throughout timely. So let's start. So it's going to be x into 2x to the fourth. So the x will divide into 2x to the fourth. And we're going to get out right now, we're going to get 2x, but to the third. So there it is, we'll get 2x to the third. So what we're going to do now is to do process 2 or step 2. We're going to multiply 2x to the third by x. So we're going to multiply this by everything here, x plus 2, should say. So there it is. So 2x to the third times x will give us 2x to the fourth, and 2x to the third times 2 will give us positive 4x to the third. And then what we're going to do here, we're going to subtract. So we'll just put a line there and to put the subtraction. So now we're going to subtract. So you're going to subtract, we're going to say 2x to the fourth, subtract 2x to the fourth. That's a 0. So I could just put a little dot. That's for 0. Then we're going to have 3x to the third, subtract 4x to the third. And that's going to give me negative x to the third. Then I'm going to drop down this. So let us write down negative 4x squared. Then the process begins. I'm going to divide x into negative x to the third. So x into negative x to the third will give us negative x to the second. And then we're going to multiply negative x to the second times x plus 2. We're going to get negative x to the third. And then we're going to get negative 2x squared. Let us subtract this. Negative x to the third minus a negative. This is going to be a positive, so this becomes 0. Then we have negative 4x squared minus negative 2x squared. And that's going to give us negative 2x squared. And then we're going to bring down this term here. It will be a plus x. So what we're going to do now is to divide again. So we're going to divide that x into the negative 2x to the second. We're going to get negative 2x. When you multiply negative 2x by x plus 2, we're going to get negative 2x to the second. And then we're going to get negative 4x. We're going to put our bracket, we subtract. So let's move the screen up a little bit. So when we subtract, now negative 2x squared minus 2x squared, we're going to get a 0. X minus minus, and this is going to be a plus 4x, so we'll get 5x. Lastly, we're going to bring down that negative 6 right here. So now we're going to divide x into 5x, and that's going to give me positive 5. Then when I multiply 5 times x, I'll get 5x, and 5 times 2, I will get positive 10. Draw my line, I will now subtract. Right? So we're going to subtract right there. So let us look at the subtraction. 5 minus 5, 5x minus 5x is 0. Negative 6 minus negative 10, because this is minus 10, should say. Let me go again. Negative 6 minus 10 is going to give me negative 16. This, though, whenever this term has a lower degree of x, and you can see there's no x here, and this is x to the 1. So this, there is no x here, and this is x to the 1. That means we're at the end of the row. The moment the divisor, the degree of the divisor is greater than whatever we have down here, we have to stop. This is the remainder. So this negative 16 here is my remainder. This. So basically then, what we could say that is when we divide the x plus 2 into all of this, we're going to get this. We're going to get 2x to the third minus x squared minus 2x plus 5 plus we will get negative 16 over x plus 2. So you could see that this is our quotient. This that we get out on top is our quotient right there, right? And you see that this is our beta, and this was our divisor already. That's how it goes. So that's doing regular long division. What we're going to do now is just to do a synthetic division to see, the similarities, what we get out and stuff like that. So let us look on how synthetic division is related to the long division. Now, in synthetic division, what we are doing is slightly simpler. We're going to take the coefficients of the term. So we're going to take the 2, the 3, the negative 4, this is a 1, the negative 6. And we're going to use that. All right, so let's set this up. In synthetic division, we kind of set up a system like this, where we're going to write the coefficients here. There's a 2, there is a 3, I could space, there is a 3, there is a negative 4, there is a 1, and there is a negative 6. And we put these in descending order of the power of the coefficients that we have, the degree, descending order. Now, we're not going to use positive 2. In order to know what we're going to use to divide with the synthetic division, we have to set the divisor to 0. So x is equal to negative 2. So technically, we're going to be using negative 2 here. The first thing that we have to do is to bring down that first number all the time. So we're going to bring this down here all the time. The first number must be brought down to start. The process is simply multiply, then add. Multiply, then add. So we're going to multiply this negative 2 by positive 2. We're going to get negative 4. Then we're going to add negative 4 to 3. We'll get negative 1. Then we multiply 2, negative 2 times negative 1. We're going to get positive 2. Then we're going to add positive 2 to negative 4. We'll get negative 2. Then we're going to multiply again negative 2 with negative 2. And that's going to give us positive 4. When we add positive 1 and positive 4, we get 5. Then we're going to multiply negative 2 times 5. And we're going to get negative 10. When we add negative 10, negative 6, we get negative 16. Definitely, we saw that we had a negative 16. This is our remainder. Now, So that's the remainder, negative 16. Now, what we have here will be the descending power of the polynomial system. So now remember that we divided 2x to the fourth. So the degree will start with a third. So this is 2x to the third. So it's always one less. Then this one is going to be negative 1, but we're going to put negative x squared. This is negative 2x, and this is the constant positive 5. So basically, you're seeing that we still get back our quotient here. Same quotient from what we had there, and with a remainder of negative 16, and this is over that divisor, which is x plus 2. So it is the same idea, only that the synthetic division is actually less work. Let's try another one. All right, so under this long division, what we're going to try now is that we're dividing. We are dividing, let's write on this. This is a 5x to the fourth. There is a negative 2x squared. We have positive 3x. And what we have here is that, okay, we're dividing this by, what do I have? X plus 1. Okay. All right. So this is what we have to divide. So for long division, we'll set this up. So let's put the divisor out here as is. There we go. Let's go through. Remember though that this is the x term we leave. So x into 5x, we're only going to use the x to divide. But when we multiply everything. All right. So we'll start off by saying x into 5x to the fourth, we will get 5x to the third. Then we multiply 5x to the third times x plus 1, we're going to get 5x to the fourth. And then this is going to give me positive 5x to the third. Let's do some subtraction. Bear in mind that you only can subtract like terms. So you're seeing where the 5x to the fourth will subtract. We only can add or subtract like terms. So the 5x to the fourth, subtract 5x to the fourth. That is a 0. All right. So that's fine. This is a 0. But we have to be careful here because this is to the third power right here. And this is to the second power. They cannot be subtracted. So that means there is a 0 x to the third. So basically we'll have simply just a minus, because this is a minus here. So it's going to affect that. So we'll have a minus 5x to the third. It's like we have 0 minus 5x to the third. And then we're going to have a minus 5x to the third. What it is that we're going to bring down? We're going to drop down that, which is negative 2x to the second. So that's what we're going to drop down now. And then we're going to divide this x into negative 5x to the third. All right. And we continue the process. Let's go. So now x into negative 5x to the third will give us negative 5x squared. Now we're going to multiply negative 5x squared times x. That's going to give me negative 5x to the third. Negative 5x squared multiplied by 1 is going to give me negative 5x squared. Then we're going to put our bracket, we're going to subtract. Negative 5x to the third minus 5x to the third will be a plus. So we have a 0 here. Next step, negative 2x squared minus 5x squared. So that's going to be a plus 5x squared. So we'll have a positive 3x squared. What it is we're going to bring down now? We're going to bring down that. So we're going to bring down a positive 3x. And the process continues. What process? We're going to divide again. X into 3x squared. We're going to get positive 3x. X times 3x will give us 3x squared. And x times 1 will give us positive 3x. Then we're going to subtract. as you could see. 3x squared minus 3x squared is 0. 3x minus 3x is a 0. And we're done. So that means we have no remainder. And because we have no remainder, it simply means that x plus 1 is definitely a factor of 5x to the 4th minus 2x squared plus 3x. That means it could divide into it without a remainder. All right, let us do this in synthetic division and see if we'll get a 0 for the remainder, right? Now, remember for synthetic division, we have to be very careful. So we're looking at, let me write this, 5x to the 4th minus 2x squared plus 3x, and we're dividing that by x plus 1. First thing that we have to remember, that synthetic division rarely goes in order. So the coefficients are 5, then we have a negative 2, then we have a 3. But if you look at the power, this is x to the 4th, x to the 2nd, and then x to the 1. So what's missing between x to the 4th and x to the 2nd is the x to the 3rd. And we cannot ignore that. So that means that there is a coefficient of 0 for the 3rd power. It's not there. That means we have to replace it with a 0. What do I mean? The 5 for the 4th power will be there. Then there is no 3rd. We have to put a 0. Then the 2nd power, there's a minus 2. And for the power of 1, we have a 3. Then now we can't divide by just that. We have to set this equal to 0 to find the number that we need to divide throughout, negative 1. So then when we set this to 0 and solve, we get x equal to negative 1. So we're going to put negative 1 there. The first move is to bring down that 5 to start. So it's going to be here. The process remains the same, where we're going to multiply, then add. So we're going to multiply negative 1 times 5. Negative 1 times 5 will give us negative 5. And 0 plus negative 5 is negative 5. Then we're going to have negative 1 times negative 5. And that is going to give us positive 5. Positive 5 plus negative 2 will give us positive 3. Then we're going to have negative 1 times positive 3. And that's going to give us negative 3. When we add 3 plus negative 3, we get a 0. Hence, our remainder is 0. And then now the follow-up coefficients, or the follow-up quotient, then would be as follows. 5x to the 3rd minus 5x to the 2nd plus 3x. All right. So there it is that we have that. So that's what we have right there, right? That's what we have right there. So we have 5x to the 3rd minus 5x to the 2nd plus 3x. All right. Thank you for watching Daily Maths Concepts. See you next time.